The women, Aisha and Laurel, had spent years believing the auto world would never take them seriously. They worked in a small Michigan garage, repairing basic engines and tuning old cars for locals. But late at night, after customers left, they chased a dream that felt impossible, building a sports car engine unlike anything the industry had ever seen. Their workspace was tiny, cold in winters, and crowded with tools older than both of them. Yet every evening, they pushed forward. Aisha handled engineering calculations with surgeon-level precision, while Laurel shaped components by hand, sculpting metal like an artist. They knew their creation wasn't perfect, but something revolutionary pulsed inside it. Each failed attempt pushed them harder. Valves burst, timing chains snapped and sensors fried. Friends suggested they stop. "No one will take women in a garage seriously," they heard too often, but instead of breaking, their rejection fueled them. They believed that innovation didn't need permission. It only needed courage and work no one could ignore. After 3 years, hundreds of prototypes, and countless nights without sleep, the engine finally roared, smooth, deep, and powerful. The vibrations shook the garage floor, but what shook them more was the realization. They had created something lighter, faster, and cleaner than anything major manufacturers were building. They stood frozen in disbelief and pride. News didn't spread overnight. It spread by accident. A local racer overheard the engine test and begged them to install it into his lightweight sports chassis. When he took it on the track, every mechanic stopped to stare. The car tore through laps like a beast set free. People whispered, "Who built that engine?" Soon, videos of the test run hit social media. Millions watched the two women standing proudly by their custom engine. Comments exploded, some amazed, some doubtful, many supportive. But what mattered was the call that came a week later. A major auto company invited them to Detroit to present their design. Their hands shook as they read the email. Walking into the corporate building felt unreal. Executives expected 2 men, not 2 women in oil-stained jackets. Some faces tightened, but others leaned forward with curiosity. Aisha began the presentation with steady confidence, explaining the thermal efficiency upgrades. Laurel followed, describing the handcrafted modular components that allowed unprecedented horsepower-to-weight ratio. The room, once skeptical, grew silent. When the demonstration video played, showcasing the engine outperforming industry benchmarks, the executives sat straighter, realizing they might be witnessing the future. Then, one of the senior engineers asked the question that changed everything. "How did you two build something our entire R&D team hasn't?" Aisha smiled, "Because no one told us what was impossible." The response echoed through the room like a challenge. After a long pause, the company offered them a partnership, full creative control, open facilities, and global production possibilities. It felt like years of dismissal and doubt had suddenly cracked open into limitless opportunity. But the women didn't say yes immediately. Their dream wasn't just about recognition, it was about freedom. They drove home in silence, talking only once they reached their small garage. After hours of discussion, they realized something. They wanted their engine to represent more than innovation. It needed to represent every woman told she couldn't. They proposed a deal. They would partner only if the company agreed to fund a training program for young female engineers and mechanics across the country. They wanted workshops, scholarships, and opportunities that didn't exist when they were young. The executives were stunned, but eventually agreed. The contract was signed within a week. Production began within months. Test drivers praised the engine, calling it the Whispering Thunder because of its low emissions and explosive power. Designers shaped an entirely new sports car around it, sleek, aggressive, and proudly stamped with a badge inspired by Aisha and Laurel's garage logo. The auto industry buzzed louder each day. Within a year of launch, the car broke multiple speed and efficiency records. Magazines called it the engine that challenged decades of tradition and proof that innovation knows no gender. Interviews poured in. Aisha and Laurel stood on global stages, not as exceptions, but as leaders rewriting the rules of automotive engineering. Yet their favorite moment wasn't the awards, the fame, or even the sales. It was the day they walked into a classroom and saw dozens of young girls wearing safety goggles, sketching engine diagrams, and excitedly discussing combustion ratios. For the first time, the future didn't feel restricted. It felt wide open. Aisha and Laurel's journey didn't just disrupt the auto industry, it sparked a movement. What began in a cramped Michigan garage grew into a revolution of talent, equality, and fearless ambition. Their engine didn't just change the way cars were built, it changed who the world believed was capable of building them.